I'd hop on here and make a second Tour de Fleece video. So I'm on a roll. That was one of my goals. Besides trying to keep a gratitude journal, is to get back in the swing of making more videos because I've just been busy. So it's been hard to sit down and make videos, and the kids are always here, as you can hear. They are upstairs watching some sort of behind the scenes thing on Frozen, and so they're arguing about which one of them sings more like Elsa. And this particular argument has been going on for a while. So, apologies in advance. That's upstairs. But what I am spinning is, hold on, I'm spinning some more of, if you follow our newsletter, you may recognize this yarn. It's going to be a thread play yarn, which I meant to have my act together and have the finest finished skein here. But it's a thread ply yarn from our newest collection, and I kind of purposely am spinning that's why the title of this video is Even and Uneven Yarn. I am purposely, not exaggeratedly spinning it thick and thin, but like I'm definitely spinning it like kind of poofier here and a little bit tighter there, and kind of even tighter there, and then up here's another like kind of poofier section, and you see, and it's curly because it hadn't been set yet. But you can see there is, squishy versus tighter. I'm doing kind of a variation, and it's not extreme. I mean, it's not an extreme thick and thin. But the reason I'm doing that is because when I thread ply it, I wanted it. This one's called like Cool Waves, I think. I want it to have a real, textured look to it, which I really, really like. So that is what I'm doing. And also, I know some of the questions we're getting from newer spinners is I'm trying to spin and I'm really working on getting even, like a more even yarn. So here I am purposely spinning an uneven yarn while people are asking to spin more of a even yarn. So I figured we could do both. And let's get this all wrapped back on here. So here, I'm gonna put this between my knees. What I'm doing for my fiber prep is, you can see this started out as merino braid. And I have gone through and pulled, like I talk about often, some strips out. And so if you're trying to spin an even yarn, unlike what I'm doing, I would, go through and maybe even strip this down even thinner than what this one is. If you were trying to do a more even, normal, human, worsted, or sport weight yarn. And see, this one's wanting to hold on to itself. So I'm going to strip this down, and then if for an even yarn, I really recommend going through and pre-drafting, just like this. Kind of go through and gently get it to where it's not hanging on to itself too tight in any particular areas. And that really, in my opinion, is the number one thing you can do to help to have a more even yarn. So let me, there goes my end. I thought this was part of it, but it wasn't. Let me get my end back. And so what I'm going to do, and I'm keeping my feet just nice and steady. I'm going to put my little fuzzy ends together here. So see, they got connected. So for an even yarn, you're going to just really keep your feet steady. And I don't really have to draft that much because, I already did pre-drafting, and I'm not wanting this to be super, super fine. So for this particular size yarn, since I've already pre-drafted, I'm just, for an even yarn, doing a really basic pull forward and smooth back. So this is a worsted style spinning, which the people that are very into doing things particular ways, if you are wanting a more even yarn, and especially from like a merino roving, the official method is that you would spin this roving in a worsted style like I'm doing here, where I'm just kind of pulling forward and smoothing back. So I'm pulling forward, smoothing back. And that's going to give you a nice compact yarn because you're pulling the fibers flat and then the twist gets in it kind of while they're already flat. Whereas woolen, the twist is getting in it while it's kind of, swirly. So for this one, we're pulling it flat. So that's what I'm doing here for an even yarn. Get it going the right way. There you go. I'm pulling it forward and smoothing it back. So for what I'm doing here, where I'm wanting it to be a little bit more freeform, is kind of the opposite of what I guess you're told you're supposed to do with these. Is, see, I'm letting the twist kind of get into this thicker piece, and see how it's literally, it's just twisting. So I'm skipping the pull it flat part. So that's the pull it flat part. And for my thicker, squishier, more woolen parts on this, I'm actually kind of just pulling back, more like a long draw method. Not quite. We'll call it a medium draw. But here, let me show you on the camera where I'm just kind of pulling it back and then smoothing. And so I'm really letting the twist travel into this kind of the size that it already is. So see that one squishier. And just letting the twist go in it while it's already kind of circular versus the other example being pulling it forward, smoothing it back. Pulling it forward and smoothing it back. And that's a much smaller motion where I can really feel that it's flat and then twisted. So flat and then twisted for more compact yarn. And then for the parts where I want it to be bigger, I'm just going to kind of pull back and let the twist get in it more naturally that way. So that is what I'm working on, and it's going to turn out to be really cool. Like I said, this is one I've already been making for our most recent collection, and I like it, so I'm making another one. So it's going to be thread ply. I will make another video when I'm actually thread plying it, but like I said, that had been, I'm trying to, at these Tour de Fleece videos, answer kind of specific concerns. I know we have some new to us spinners anyhow, so I'm trying to address some of those. And one I was hearing was my goal is I'm trying to make more even yarn. So I hope that helps, and I hope you're having fun, and hope everybody's excited about their goals. Like I said, we were doing kind of, you wanted to set a personal goal for, like I said, I'm doing a gratitude journal during the Tour de Fleece, or if you just want to particularly pray extra hard for a friend you know that needs help, or I don't know, whatever, anything else you might want to do. Not mandatory. We're also spinning, so we are on Ravelry. We have a Tour de Fleece thread on Ravelry, and we also have this happening in our Facebook group, which is Handspun Yarn Love. So I'm assuming if you're seeing this, you're probably in one of those too. Have a good one.